Hello everyone, and welcome to, you know, just something, also with the, uh, also apparently OBS got an update, oh wow, I guess that's how long it's been since I've last used OBS. It looks good. Anyway, I hope you're all doing well. Sorry it's been so long. It's been like 3 weeks or something. I've just been busy and all that other stuff. But yeah, I hope you're all doing well. I'm certainly doing pretty fine. Yeah, so, let's get on to Google Earth for old time's sake. Just checking stuff out. Yeah, so let me just say that I again would like to apologize for the inactivity for the past couple of weeks. It's not that I lost motivation. I'm not going to be like one of those YouTubers that just suddenly stops or does anything like that. No. It's just I haven't really found the time to stream yet. Because I typically try to stream on the weekend, but you know. But yeah, so again, hope you're all doing well. I'm doing good. You know, just the usual. Yeah, so to get things started, the last time I did a Google Earth related stream, this did not have any bit of Street View at all. But since then, there's actually a building being built over here, and there's going to be a Brahms over there, which the last I saw, they already have like the wood, the plywood panel, whatchamacallits on there, I don't know what you would call it. So there's that. But, yeah. That said, you know, you're probably wondering, so what exactly has been going on with you lately? I say that like it's a bad thing. It is not. Don't worry. So, back in November, yours truly got a bicycle. I didn't buy it. It was a thing that my papaw got me, but, I ended up riding it a few days after I got it, and it was to a store that I had been to before, but before then I would have to have my papaw take me there. Now technically I would still have him need to take me over there if I want to buy something big or something like that. But I went over to Founded Electronics in a neighboring city, which there's only one Founded. And it was partially to trade stuff in that I didn't use anymore, but it was also because of the fact that I just wanted to take a look around there because it had been quite a long time. And with the money I had, I was able to buy 2 games. I was able to buy Star Fox and A Link to the Past for SNES. Problem was, whenever I got those games, it was back whenever I still had my FC Twin, which I still have it. Let me turn on the webcam real quick. One sec. This thing! Also, yeah, kind of a bad head. I got a haircut a few weeks ago, don't worry. But this is the console I used to use for Super Nintendo games. Unfortunately, the electronics in there went bad, but I told my uncle who bought me this thing about it, and he gave me a new console. I'm not gonna grab it because it's hooked up to the TV, but I can tell you this: it's pretty awesome. It is undoubtedly pretty awesome. Anyway, yeah, so there's that. So So, here's another thing that you're probably wondering. What was with that stream a few weeks ago? Like the finale to Radical Rewind? Well, let me answer that. To be quite honest, it was partially just because of the fact that it had run its course. I was running out of ideas and I wanted to do something new, which will be shown in due time. Sometimes there's streams where, it'll be on webcam and you'll see what it is. I will say it's somewhat inspired by the furry fandom, seeing as how I've been in the fandom for 10 years now. But it's also inspired by a beloved yet, relegated video game series, thank you Nintendo, called Star Fox. And no, that's not to say that this thing is, a Star Fox ripoff. It's literally just, something. But the other stuff will be on Discord and stuff like that. But yeah, so there's that as well. But the key thing to say here is, the Radical Rewind series is not necessarily over. It will live on in some respects. But in terms of stuff like Radical Earth, that has now been retired, and the whole lore explanation for that, which will lead into the next topic, is that Radical Earth was more or less a testing ground for something else. And in terms of its overall lore, the concept of Radical Earth and how it actually works, how everything looks retro but it's modern, but it's weird, it's something. This leads me into my next topic, and something that I did briefly mention earlier. It's inspired by Star Fox, but it's not like Star Fox itself. But during the course of Radical Rewind and Radical Earth, there was a game that I kept mentioning to the point where it became a prominent thing that I would be mentioning when it came to Radical Earth. It is a game series known as Delta Fang, which is basically that universe's version of Star Fox. What if I were to tell you that the whole reason why it got so much focus was because of the fact that it was hinting at something? That hinting at something would end up being a new alternate universe, which in due time, given time and patience and hard work and dedication and whatnot, will end up being a live-action universe. It's something called the Solaria system. And if that name sounds familiar, it's because of the fact that in the stream I did a few weeks ago, to ring in the new year, albeit during the day and not at midnight, I had mentioned that that universe was undergoing a strange anomaly. The actual explanation is that the Radical Earth universe was actually a simulation. So the people in that world and the versions of the characters from the Solaria system that were involved in that were all a part of a simulation. So therefore, everything in the Radical Earth universe, including the events of the video games that Fang and the others are from, the Delta Fang games, that never happened. That was all part of the simulation, just something to make it more lively. So, in truth, the Solaria system, which is the actual universe that I've been steadily working at, in terms of its timeline, it's been completely rebooted. And by that I mean, like, is its own timeline. So, by the time the, you know, universe has been established, which was officially on New Year's Day, um, yeah, the timeline of that technically takes place well before the events of the first Delta Fang game. And while there is technically a plot to this universe, um, it's not really relevant. It's kind of like what John Carmack said about Doom, and I will kind of censor this a fair bit to make sure that YouTube won't hound me. Story in this case for a universe, whether it be a live action universe or just an alternate universe in general, is a lot like story in a film, an adult film. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna say the actual word. It's expected to be there, but it won't be that important unless it's necessary. Case in point, I do have big plans. First and foremost, something that's happening next month. I am actually going to be making a costume of sorts. Not necessarily for like cosplay, it's not going to be anything big like a Gundam or something like that. It's more or less going to be something like a fursuit without it being a fursuit itself. It's inspired by it, but it's more so just an avatar, you know. And that would be my Solarian counterpart, Fang Rocket. The same Fang Rocket that you would see in the Delta Fang games. So, in other words, yeah, basically the Solaria system is the same Solaria system that were in the games, albeit because of the timeline being completely different from the Delta Fang variant, or not variant, but the Delta Fang version of the Solaria system, being that the events that are taking place right now are well before, again, the events of the first game. So, none of the stuff that happened before the games has happened yet. But that doesn't mean that it's going to be happening in the same exact way. But anyway, so yeah. I'm going to be making Fang, and yes, I am actually going to be making, again, somewhat like a fursuit, but it's not like fluffy. It's going to be using like a plush fleece material that I've seen at Walmart. It's actually really good. It's nice and soft. So it'll get the job done. And there's also like a thermal shirt and a thermal set of pants they'll be getting for this. For the like torso and legs segment of the body. And I'm also going to be making a tail. There's a lot of stuff. And I will be having to substitute some stuff like sewing with something else to make sure that, hey, it's easy to get done, it's quick, yeah. But with that said, let's just say that throughout the year there's some other stuff, such as some other costumes I'll be making. Or I say costumes, but I say it's like a cosplay, but it's not like to the extent of it being like, oh, hey, guess what? I'm gonna be going to big conventions and stuff. No, it's just gonna be for fun, you know? But, yeah. That said, big things are happening. That they are. I don't know why I did that. Yeah, now for other stuff that is on the horizon, more so focused on Furplace, yeah, so things are happening. I am getting back into streaming, you know, this is indication of that. So for starters, the Liminal Express series, which is just called Rex's Liminal Express, that will be making a return in the near future. I just have to find the right time. Don't worry, I'm not like busy with stuff 24/7. Okay, it's just that like I have a fixed schedule during the week. Yay, voice crack. During the week, so. Like, for example, on days where it's rainy, so I can't go walking, I will try and remember to do a stream then. But more often than not, I'm just going to try and do a stream on the weekend when I have the time. But my typical schedule every single day is that, I'll do the normal stuff that I normally do during the day. And, at 3 p.m. or something, I'll charge up my headset, which, yeah, I forgot to mention, yours truly got a Quest 3 back in October. It's pretty awesome. And, yeah, that does lead into the next topic. VR streams are going to be making a return again in the near future. My plan is that I will kick off the return to VR streams on my birthday on Valentine's Day next month. So, on my 27th birthday. Which, can you believe it? I'll be 27 soon. That says 27. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So, case in point, there's that. There's Liminal Express. Let's see what else. Oh, right. So, that stream I did a few weeks ago where I was streaming on PS5, that wasn't just one of those every once in a while kind of things. Also, I just now noticed that the camera says 666 meters. Ooh, spooky. Anyway, yeah, so that said, I do have plans, just like with the other things in the near future, to actually start doing PS5 streams on a more consistent basis, because, it's one of those things that I'll have to get around to it, but yeah. But getting back to that fixed schedule thing, every single day at like 6 p.m. I will, turn on my headset because I always plug it in at 3 p.m. or so. So that way, like, by the time it's 6 p.m. or so, I can turn it on, and I have a new link cable because the other one was starting to fail out on me, so this one's newer. I've had it for about 3 months now, or no, it has been 3 months, but it's working perfectly fine because it's like the new Metabraina cable. It's a lot better quality. Anyway, but at 6 p.m. or something like that, I will turn on the headset and then I'll get onto PC VR, get on VR chat. Yeah, that isn't every night kind of basis, but yeah, so but hey, that doesn't necessarily mean that that'll cut into my streaming schedule because, again, with the VR streams announcement earlier, that 6 p.m. thing actually will be a good time for that because, it's at the time of day where I'm not busy with anything. Unless, I have to be out and about doing something, but anyway, with that being said, one last thing. I just wanted to say thank you guys for, for, supporting this channel for so long. I'm not going anywhere, don't worry. I'm not going to be one of those people like Matt Pat, which I wish him all the best. But let's just say these past several months have, they've been a little, worrisome. A loved one of ours has been kind of in and out of the hospital. They're at a care facility thingy. I don't remember what it was. Some kind of facility, whatchamacallit. I don't remember all the details, but just know that that hasn't put a damper on my streaming at all. The thing that made me stop streaming, it wasn't the lack of motivation. It's just simply that I kept thinking about streaming, but I wasn't able to find a good time until now. But with that said, yeah, so I just want to say thank you all for supporting this channel for the past, almost 8 years. I first started Fur Plays in 2016. It all started with a small, following. I had a stream. I was a little nervous about everything. It's one of those things that you'll build up to it, and now, like, as we're now approaching, very rapidly rather, because, we're almost done with January already. Yeah, I have a really great feeling about this year, but let's just hope that that feeling actually rings true. But with that said, I hope you have all enjoyed the stream. I, again, do apologize for the inactivity for the past couple of weeks, especially on the PC-related streams, But, some other things I haven't touched on is that I will have, building streams on Studio 2.0 here. But they won't necessarily be, Radical Earth related anymore, because Radical Earth and Radical Rewind will live on. There will be streams where I'll be playing older games, and those will be Radical Rewind streams. But they won't be like an episodic kind of thing unless it's a game that I want to play through and it's a lengthy game. But in terms of like, hey, I'm doing different themes for this, that's not happening. Instead, it's just going to be me doing, streams related to games that are either from the past or inspired by the past. Stuff like that. Anyway, with that said, thank you all again for watching, and I will see you all sometime soon. Talk to you later.